Hola! This episode of Heritage Choir is slightly shorter than others because sometimes technology wins. That being said, we're bringing together two people, Ron Yanez and Segundo Velasquez, to share a mini episode today. Ron is a border crossings bass player and he's played in over 100 schools across the state of Minnesota. Segundo is the founder of Mano Mano International, an NGO that brings medical supplies from the US to Bolivia. Fun fact, the Mano Mano offices are housed at Unity Church Unitarian, which is the same place where the border crossing offices are. I hope you enjoy hearing more about these two people and the music they choose to share with us today. Enjoy!
I was born in California, Central
What's your
California.
name?
My name is Rahn Yanis, not Ron, but I was born in Central California in the Big Valley in Fresno, in a family of Mexicans. My parents are both bilingual. They they were from a family of all Mexicans. They all married Mexicans. They all were bilingual, and they all had lots of kids, and none of them taught any of their kids Spanish. So I grew up not speaking Spanish at all, and that was very unusual. I felt like I blended in to the community at large because I was considered what they would call a white Mexican. I didn't look Mexican at all, and so that's what led me to not experience any of the discrimination that some people experience when they're growing up. So I grew up what I would consider a very normal lifestyle in Central California, and I was very happy in my family lifestyle. When I learned Spanish in Mexico City, that was a great thing for me because I had grown up with a Hispanic surname, with many Hispanic cousins, none of whom spoke Spanish. So I was the first to learn Spanish, and I had to go to Mexico to learn it. I couldn't learn it in my home state of California because even though my parents and all my aunts and uncles and grandparents spoke Spanish, they didn't speak it to us, so I didn't get a chance to learn it. Um, Learning it in Mexico City was a great opportunity for me because not only did I get to back in touch with my roots again, but I also got to learn a lot of new classical music for me, Mexican
Mm.
classical music, which was a great opportunity. I loved doing that. I got to play all the great Mexican composers, especially with a Sinfónica Nacional like that. It was very nationalistic orchestra, and our programming was largely centered around Mexican classical music. So that was a great opportunity for me to learn speaking Spanish and learn Mexican classical music and to learn the country because we did a lot of tours and a lot of festivals. We had a seasonal festival in different parts of the country. We had a summer festival in Aguascalientes. We had a spring festival in Oaxaca. We did festivals and tours all over the place, and that was a great opportunity to learn the country. I know Mexico better than I know the United States now, actually. I play contrabajo, a string bass. And for my whole musical life until I got married, I played exclusively classical music, nothing but symphony, opera, ballet,
Wow.
nothing but. I didn't play anything else, no jazz, nothing else. So it wasn't until I moved to Minnesota that I learned to play other things, jazz, tango, Hawaiian, a variety of different kinds of music. So that was nice to be able to do. I did 34 years with the United States Postal Service,
I
and
didn't know that.
yeah, that was my main gig. That's what allowed me to be able to be a musician. I was a professional musician until I got married at age 30, 35 years ago. And being a musician was a lot of fun, but it wasn't a lifestyle that was going to allow me to be able to buy a house, raise a family, and all that because I was not a rich musician. But I was a musician nonetheless, and I was a professional musician until I got married at age 30. After that, I was a musician on the side.
Ron, and you play with a mariachi group, don't you? Or you do have?
I did briefly one time only when I was playing a
Oh, that's what it
concert
was.
with Vocal Lessons. I was playing a concert with Vocal Lessons, and they were featuring La Fiesta de la Posada by David Brubeck, and it included an orchestra and a chorus, of course, because it was
Mhm.
Vocal Lessons, but it also included a mariachi band because Dave Brubeck grew up in Northern California on a
Hmm.
cattle ranch, and there were a lot of Mexicans there, so he got to hear a lot of music, Mexican music, growing up, including a lot of mariachi music. So when he wrote this piece about the posada, he decided to include a mariachi band. And when we played this with the mariachi band from Mexico, I can't remember the name of the band, but their bajista, their guitarronista, couldn't make it back from Mexico in time, so they asked me to play bass with them. and it just so happened that I could easily, pick up what they were doing, and they also happened to have a mariachi traje for me. So I that's when I sent you that photo, and I grabbed a photo of that, and that was my one opportunity to play mariachi.
And did you study classical music? Did you like go to college and study music?
Yeah, I did. I started playing bass when I was 12 years old,
Mm.
and when I got my first music job with the local Philharmonic, I was 16. So I had been playing bass for 4 years by that time. I was 16-year-old young professional bass player, and I was like, "This is it. This is going to be my life from now on." It definitely gave me my start. And when I started playing professionally, I started playing all up and down the San Joaquin Valley, and there were a lot of young, small professional orchestras all up and down the valley, and that's how I made my living, was driving up and down the valley. Until I moved over to Monterrey, I moved to the coast. Monterrey and San Francisco, San Jose, all that are along there.
Yo me llamo Segundo Velasquez, originalmente del país de Bolivia. Yo nací allí en el campo, a una familia bastante pobre que trabajaba en el campo, aporcando, arando el terreno para vivir. Una familia bastante grande de 8 hijos. Y bueno, vivíamos una vida bastante pobre. Yo hablaba la lengua de quechua, la lengua indígena, al principio, y verdaderamente yo no aprendí el español hasta que fui a la escuela y al pueblo, bueno, a la ciudad verdaderamente, que por muchas razones y por los problemas que los papás tuvieron verdaderamente con la mamá del papá, que era una loca. Ella misma decía que yo soy abuela burrubela, es lo que decía. De todas maneras, mis padres pensaron que lo mejor era sacar a su familia hacia la ciudad, porque el pueblo mismo, mis papás querían enviar sus hijos al pueblo, a la escuela, a sus hijos al pueblo, pero la gente pensó que ¿por qué? ¿Cómo es que, how is it that our school is not good enough for your children? You can't do that, and you will not do that. This is where you're going to send your children. So there was tension. Y por eso entonces los papás decidieron salir del pueblo. Nos fuimos a la ciudad de Cochabamba, en ahí otra vez más viviendo en el barrio, haciendo diferentes cosas. Pero mi papá era alguien que era un entrepreneur, lo que podemos decir, que al principio él dijo de que se había conseguido un trabajo allí construyendo, era un carpintero construyendo puentes, y pensó que después del tercer día dijo, mis hijos van a morir de hambre si es que yo no hago algo diferente, porque no puedo ganar suficiente, porque él tenía 8 hijos. Decidió salirse después de 3 días y había una oportunidad para comprar una pequeña, lo que uno llamaría una pequeña empresa, si se puede decir, para hacer tejas coloniales, colonial tile, donde nosotros, 3 hermanos y mi papá, hicimos 113 tejas cada día allí en Cochabamba. Eso pudimos vender y pronto ya pudimos comprar un camión. Necesitábamos este camión para transportar la carga, los productos, para llevar pasajeros, para llevar vacas, para llevar agua y así todo podíamos hacer con estas herramientas que el papá hizo posible trabajando entre todos nosotros, ¿no? Día y noche. Cuando tenía 18 años, había una oportunidad para mí para emigrar a los Estados Unidos. Yo conocí a mi señora allí, quien era un voluntario del Cuerpo de Paz, estaba en Bolivia. Y mediante esta relación, al principio ella estaba casada, entonces ellos me ayudaron verdaderamente, el amigo me ayudó, y después de un tiempo, años después, nuestra relación cambió. Y yo llegué aquí, pude ir a la escuela por 2 años, después había una oportunidad para ir a la universidad, pero yo dije, yo no puedo ir a la universidad, yo no tengo plata. Yo siempre quería estudiar la arquitectura, eso era mi sueño. Yo decidí ir a la escuela de aviación, donde pude obtener licencias en esa rama. Después pude trabajar para la Northwest y ahora Delta, y me jubilé de esa profesión como gerente de la organización. Y hace 25 años atrás, mi señora y yo comenzamos una ONG, un trabajo de obra social que se llama Mano a Mano. Queríamos hacer es de ayudar a la gente, especialmente de menores recursos allí en Bolivia, con los excesos y lo extra que nosotros tenemos aquí en los Estados Unidos. Trabajando para la compañía de Northwest, yo pude ver que estábamos verdaderamente botando, desechando todas estas maravillas de cosas que yo sé que allí en Bolivia y en los países en desarrollo necesitan y podrían utilizar. No importa si estaba roto, o si era sucio, o si era lo que no importa, sabía que nosotros podíamos limpiarlo, arreglarlo, utilizarlo y utilizar eso para crear oportunidades para nosotros allí. Lo que ellos pensamos necesitan son los recursos, ¿no? Tienen las manos para trabajar, pero no tienen estas cosas. Así que decidimos al principio recolectar estos insumos aquí. El primer año, 500 libras de insumos que recolectamos, y para el segundo año era 3.500. Después había una oportunidad para colaborar con la organización Denton, y enviamos 35,000 libras. Y ahora hemos enviado millones de libras. Hemos hecho muchos otros proyectos en salud, desarrollo económico, y tenemos un programa bastante grande ahora. Well, really, for me, getting involved with Mano a Mano was, I think, a way to be able to give back to my community, a way to be able to share, even though it was just this surplus that we have here, a way to share that. We were very fortunate that we got the response from our community here, from church, and the larger community who participated. For 18 years, we didn't have a single official staff person. We just did it all with volunteers. About 6-7 years ago or so, we finally hired an executive director, and now we have 2.5 people that work for Mano a Mano. Other than that, we still are relying on volunteers, and the volunteers are the friends, family, friends of friends, and so on, and they're the ones that are really making this happen. Those 2.5, we just hired the half person about a week ago, so we had 2 people. Those 2 people are making it possible for about 80 staff people in Bolivia to be able to do this.
Wow.
And in addition to that, there are thousands of people that are dependent on the jobs and employment from the infrastructure that Mano a Mano built. These are medical facilities, hospitals, clinics, schools, roads, water projects, and we have an aviation program and so on. We also are relying on volunteers in Bolivia. We're trying to get the community to respond in that way also. So we've been very fortunate that we've gotten the support here as well as in Bolivia to participate with us. So
Can you share a song with us that I don't know? You had two. You had Carmina Burana and like Hotel California, which are very different.
Very, very different. And as a classical musician, I feel kind of strange saying that my favorite piece of music, my favorite song is Hotel California by the Eagles. I kind of grew up with it. I grew up in California, and in my hometown of Fresno, there was a Hotel California, and to me, I thought that was the Hotel California until I found out that there are probably 50 Hotel Californias in California. That was my song because it spoke to me about the California lifestyle, which I did live and I do live still. Free thinking, free living, and fully immersed in everything that can be brought our way.
thinking about the people, thinking about the place, el país, always thinking about going back and being part of that. But for now, this is where I am. But I love the opportunity to go back always to see the people and to be part of that culture. You can imagine being in the Andes, up in the mountains, and you're all alone. There's nobody but you, and you have to travel from one place to the other. And throughout the road, you would be thinking about this. I think it's just the el lamento, no? And there's this song that says, El indio con su cargamento toca su quena y su lamento, su caminar y sufrimiento. Ah, mi patria boliviana, yo quiero volver mañana a besarla a mi madre, virgen de mis sueños.